1980s R&B had a magic all its own, a smooth blend of neon city lights, quiet storm romance, and dance floor heat. These 15 forgotten one-hit R&B wonders shaped mixtapes, roller rink nights, and late-night dedications. Let's bring them back into the spotlight. Number 15, Funkin' for Jamaica by Tom Brown.
What's up, man? Man, what was you doing, man? What's up?
Released in 1980 on GRP Records, this track arrived at a moment when jazz funk was stretching its wings into the mainstream. Trumpeter Tom Brown was just stepping into broader recognition, carving out a lane between club-ready grooves and smooth R&B richness. The story behind this tune is almost accidental genius. Brown and vocalist Tony Smith built the core of the song during a relaxed jam session. Inspired by their Queens neighborhood of Jamaica, that loose, playful energy carried straight into the final cut, giving it an almost live street corner vibe. You can practically feel humid summer air and hear passing cars when that opening breakdown hits. For many listeners, it felt like a secret handshake between jazz heads and R&B fans. The blend was fresh, the rhythm unstoppable, and Smith's ad-libs carved out their own mythology. Though Brown continued releasing strong jazz records, nothing else caught fire quite the way this single did. Its legacy still pulses today in samples from artists across hip-hop and modern soul. And if this was Brown's moment in the sun, our next entry glows with an entirely different shade of 80s nostalgia. Number 14, Let the Music Play by Shannon. Dropping in 1983 on Emergency Records, this track burst onto the scene during a moment when R&B was finding new electricity in club culture. Shannon was a young vocalist with a crystalline tone and fierce control, stepping into a sound that would come to define an entire movement. The magic of this song came from an almost accidental transformation. Producer Chris Barbosa had been experimenting with a hybrid of Latin percussion, syncopated kick patterns, and synth stabs.
As soon as we started to move.
When Shannon stepped into the booth, her voice fused with that beat in a way no one expected. Suddenly, they had a record that felt like a doorway into a new era. Listeners remember hearing it in crowded roller rinks, where disco balls spun lazy constellations across the floor. The track felt futuristic at the time, with cold metallic textures, but a warm, emotional core. It climbed charts worldwide, becoming the anthem that introduced the freestyle genre to mainstream audiences. While Shannon released more music afterward, none would ever eclipse the shockwave of this debut smash. And if this was a glimpse of R&B reinventing itself for the dance floor, the next song on our list showcases a different kind of reinvention entirely. Number 13, Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell.
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Released in 1984 on Motown, this eerie yet irresistible track came from Rockwell, the son of Motown founder Berry Gordy, who was carving out his first real shot at an artistic identity. But the story behind this song isn't just about lineage, it's about creative risk. Rockwell was living in his own apartment, wrestling with career uncertainty and personal pressure. One day, the idea of paranoia as a playful metaphor struck him.
I work from 9 to 5, hell, I pay the price. All I want is...
And he built a demo around that unsettling feeling. The real twist is the uncredited vocal cameo that transformed the song into a cultural moment. Michael Jackson, a close family friend, was visiting and casually laid down the unforgettable hook in one take. His brother Jermaine added backing parts, turning the chorus into a supernatural echo. Listeners remember the first time that creeping synth line slithered through their radios. You could almost picture dimly lit hallways, creaking floors, and that pulsing sense of someone just out of sight.
Just a little touch, but maybe showers remind me of Psycho Killer.
The track soared to the top 10 in multiple countries and became a staple of 80s playlists, Halloween mixes, and nostalgia nights forever after. Rockwell never scored another hit, but this one captured a mood no one else dared to bottle. And if this entry played with fear and mystery, the next track steps into pure neon romance. Number 12, I Wonder If I Take You Home by Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam with Full Force. Released in 1985 through Columbia Records, this breakout track arrived at a moment when New York's underground dance scene was bubbling with fresh talent. Lisa Lisa was barely out of her teens, recording with the powerhouse production team Full Force, who were still sharpening their sonic signature. The song's journey to success is almost as captivating as its rhythm. It was originally shelved by the label, considered too experimental and uncertain for a mainstream push. But when a European dance compilation picked it up, club DJs overseas sparked a wildfire that American radio had no choice but to chase. Listeners remember that crisp snare and rubbery bass line echoing across rec centers, block parties, and late-night radio shows. It sounded like fluorescent lights, new sneakers, and the exciting awkwardness of young love. The tension in the lyrics connected instantly with a generation that knew what it felt like to hesitate at the edge of a relationship. Once it hit the US charts, it quickly became an anthem of teen crushes and dance floor flirting. Lisa Lisa would go on to have a strong career within the freestyle and R&B world. But this track remains the one that defined a moment and a movement. And if this song captured the uncertainty of young affection, our next entry pulses with confidence and polished studio heat. Number 11, Night and Day by Al B. Sure? Released in 1988 on Warner Brothers, this smooth, dreamy groove introduced Al B. Sure, to the world at a moment when R&B was evolving into more atmospheric melodic territory. He had been working behind the scenes, writing and refining his craft. But this song marked his true arrival. The story behind its creation is rooted in pure emotion. Al B. Sure wrote it while navigating a new relationship, trying to capture the quiet rush of being completely wrapped up in someone. Producer Kyle West helped shape the warm, floating soundscape, building layers of synths and subtle percussion that felt like the musical version of a late-night whisper. Listeners recall hearing it on quiet storm radio programs, those midnight broadcasts where the lights were low, the streets were calm, and the world felt a little softer. The moment that falsetto glides in, you can almost see the glow of street lamps passing by a car window. The song climbed to the top of the R&B charts and earned a Grammy nomination, becoming a signature slow jam of the decade. Although Al B. Sure continued releasing music, nothing replicated the immediate intimacy of this breakout moment. If this entry painted the soundtrack of a nighttime drive, the next one drops us straight onto the dance floor, where the rhythm takes over before you even know what's happening. Number 10, Rumors by Timex Social Club.
How do rumors get started? Started by the jealous people.
Released in 1986 on Daniel Records, this track arrived during a moment when R&B was absorbing hip-hop's streetwise edge while keeping its melodic core intact. Timex Social Club were a young Bay Area collective navigating the local club scene, blending funk influences with a sharp lyrical pulse. The origin of this song comes from real frustration. Lead writer Michael Marshall was tired of whispers, broken friendships, and the petty drama swirling around their scene.
My best friend said, "There's one I'll never be in the village door."
He turned that tension into a hook that felt both playful and pointed. The group recorded the track on a tight budget, but the attitude and groove carried it far beyond their expectations. Listeners remember how the song sounded blasting from school dances, backyard parties, and boom boxes on summer sidewalks. Those crisp drum machine hits and sly vocal runs created an almost mischievous atmosphere. You could practically see kids nudging each other as the chorus hit, calling out the gossip culture everyone secretly recognized. The track became a surprise smash, climbing the R&B charts and influencing the new jack swing wave that would soon reshape the genre.
From all these rumors, can't take it no more. My best friend said
Timex Social Club didn't stay together long after, but for one shining moment, they held a mirror up to their generation with a beat no one could resist. And if this entry captured the social drama of the decade, the next track wraps us in pure emotional release. Number 9, Two Occasions by The Deal.
Summer love is beautiful, but it's not enough.
Released in 1987 on Solar Records, this tender slow jam emerged at a time when R&B groups were experimenting with lush arrangements and heartfelt storytelling. The Deal, featuring a young Babyface and L.A. Reid, were steadily building their reputation, but no one expected this track to become the emotional centerpiece of their legacy. The inspiration came from Babyface's quiet reflections on love that lingers both day and night.
Only you can make it right, yeah.
He crafted the core melody late one evening, letting the simplicity of the idea guide the entire structure. The studio session carried an almost sacred calm, with each vocal layer adding more warmth to the final cut. Listeners remember slow dancing to this at school formals, wedding receptions, and living room gatherings where families played old records on Saturday nights. The gentle keyboards and longing harmonies felt like moonlight spilling through partially drawn curtains, soft and sincere. It climbed the R&B charts and became an enduring classic, referenced by countless artists and sampled across generations.
Only you can make it right.
Even after Babyface and L.A. Reid went on to shape modern R&B, this track remains a reminder of where that emotional brilliance first fully bloomed. If this entry wrapped us in romance and reflection, the next one brings a surge of confidence and pure 80s swagger. Number 8, Caribbean Queen by Billie Ocean, released in 1984 on Jive Records. This track marked a pivotal moment as R&B fused with pop universality, crossing oceans both literally and musically. Billie Ocean was already respected in industry circles, but this song became the true turning point that carried him into global superstardom. What many fans don't know is that the track was recorded in multiple language variations to reach different markets, including African Queen and European Queen. The version we know best took on a life of its own, powered by a driving bass line, gleaming synths, and Ocean's unmistakable vocal charisma. Listeners remember blasting it from car radios on humid summer afternoons, windows down, shirts sticking to leather seats, and that infectious hook echoing down suburban streets. The song captured the feeling of escape, of imagining sun-soaked beaches and tropical breezes, even if you were miles from the ocean. It topped charts around the world and earned Ocean a Grammy, securing a permanent spot for the track in the soundtrack of the decade. Though he delivered other hits later, nothing recaptured this perfect storm of rhythm and fantasy quite the same way. If this song whisked us away to warm shores and bright skies, the next entry brings us back to the roller rink glow of pure 80s joy. Number 7, I Can't Wait by New Shoes. Released in 1986 on Atlantic Records, this infectious groove arrived during a vibrant moment when R&B and dance pop were intertwining to create something entirely new. New Shoes, a married duo out of Portland, had been grinding in their local scene for years before lightning finally struck. The surprising twist behind the track is that it almost didn't exist in the form we know. Their original version was a slower, funk-leaning jam until Dutch remixer Peter Slaghouse stumbled upon it and rebuilt the song from the ground up. His bright, kinetic remix became the definitive version, transforming a regional sleeper into an international hit. Listeners remember hearing it glide across roller rinks where disco lights bounced off the polished floors, turning skaters into silhouettes, sliding in rhythm. Those bubbly synths and sharp electronic snares felt futuristic but friendly. Like the soundtrack to a perfect Friday night. The song shot up the charts, becoming a defining snapshot of mid-'80s optimism. Though New Shoes continued making music, none of their later releases matched the global spark of this single. If this track gave us carefree motion and neon shimmer, the next entry slows the heartbeat and steps into a smooth, velvety groove. Number 6, Just Got Paid by Johnny Kemp. Released in 1988 on Columbia Records, this energetic anthem hit at a time when New Jack Swing was reshaping the entire sound of R&B. Johnny Kemp, a Bahamian vocalist with a smooth yet electrifying tone, had been working behind the scenes as a songwriter before stepping into the spotlight. The origin story of this track is a wild twist of fate. It was originally penned by a young Teddy Riley and intended for another artist. But when schedules clashed and deadlines passed, Kemp ended up recording the song himself. The moment he laid his vocals over that irresistible beat, the chemistry was undeniable. Listeners recall hearing this tune pumped through Friday night house parties, mall arcades filled with neon glow, and car stereos as paychecks hit bank accounts. The rhythm captured the joy of stepping into the weekend with a fresh fade, crisp sneakers, and plans that stretched until sunrise. It shot up the charts and became an essential part of 80s R&B history, cementing Kemp's place even as his later work never reached the same heights. If this track gave us pure payday euphoria and dance floor adrenaline, get ready because the next half of the list dives even deeper into the forgotten gems that shaped the decade. If these throwback R&B wonders are bringing back memories, give this video a like. It helps keep the music alive for everyone who still feels the rhythm of the 80s. Stick around, because we've got 5 more rare gems waiting to shine. Number 5, Let Me Love You Down by Ready for the World.
Oh baby, let me love you down.
Released in 1986 on MCA Records, this silky slow jam arrived during a moment when R&B was embracing sensual, atmospheric production. Ready for the World were a young group out of Flint, Michigan, heavily influenced by Minneapolis funk and Prince's signature sound, but determined to carve out their own lane. The creation of this song came from a session that stretched late into the night, the band chasing a feeling more than a formula.
You tell them I can do what guys their age can do.
Frontman Melvin Riley delivered the vocal with a soft, breathy intensity that instantly set the track apart. There was nothing rushed about it. It felt like a gentle confession unfolding between 2 people alone in the glow of a bedside lamp. Fans remember hearing it on Quiet Storm Radio, the kind of stations that made everything feel slower, warmer, and more meaningful. It became the soundtrack to dates, late-night phone calls, and high school dances where couples swayed with eyes closed.
That you were just too damned old for me.
The song climbed the R&B charts and became the group's signature moment, even though they never recaptured the same level of crossover success. If this track wrapped us in smooth elegance, the next entry takes that intensity and aims it straight for the heart, with a melody that still turns heads today. Number 4, Send For Me by Atlantic Starr.
Know what was said, my baby.
Released in 1981 on A&M Records, This lush ballad arrived at a time when Atlantic Starr were transitioning from a funk-rooted ensemble into one of the most heartfelt R&B groups of the decade. They were still searching for the perfect blend of harmony, tenderness, and emotional depth. This song became the moment everything clicked. Written by David Lewis, it came from a place of quiet longing, inspired by the desire to be someone's safe harbor.
I'm just a telephone call away.
In the studio, the group layered gentle keyboards, soft percussion, and warm background vocals until the track felt like a soft blanket wrapped around the listener. For many fans, this was the song that played during late-night dedications on FM radio, the kind of programs where callers whispered names and feelings into the static. It had a way of slowing down a room, drawing listeners into its sincerity. People remember dim living rooms, candles, maybe even the hum of an old box fan as this melody floated through the air.
Let me put one more thing on.
Though Atlantic Starr went on to score bigger hits later, this track remains a quiet masterpiece, a one-time chart standout that left a lasting emotional footprint. If this entry brought gentle comfort, the next one burst through with polished production and pure 80s sparkle you haven't heard in years. Number 3, Tender Love by Force MD's
Toss and turn.
Released in 1985 on Warner Brothers. This tender ballad emerged during a moment when R&B groups were venturing into softer, more vocal-driven territory. The Force MDs began as a street corner harmonizing crew from Staten Island, blending doo-wop roots with modern soul. They were known for swagger and dance moves, but this song revealed a side of them the world hadn't fully seen.
Feelings, all the tender love you give it to me.
The unexpected twist lies in the writers behind the track. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, fresh off their own transition into super producers, crafted this melody with a simplicity that left space for pure emotion. The MD stepped into the studio and delivered harmonies so delicate they felt handwritten for someone's diary. Listeners remember playing this track on cassette decks in bedrooms lit by the soft blue glow of digital alarm clocks. It became a favorite for quiet storm DJs, scattering hearts across the airwaves every night.
Surrender, baby.
The song charted well and remains one of the group's most recognized moments, an unexpected crossover that etched their name into 80s R&B history. Though they had other releases, nothing resonated with the same fragile beauty. If this track captured love in its softest form, the next entry brings a groove that's smoother, cooler, and ready to sweep you into a whole different kind of vibe. Number 2, Computer Love by Zapp and Roger. Released in 1985 on Warner Brothers, this hypnotic slow groove arrived at a moment when technology was changing both music and everyday life. Zapp, led by the incomparable Roger Troutman, had already become known for their talkbox wizardry, blending funk with futuristic textures that felt ahead of their time. But this track was different. Roger crafted it during a period of experimentation, fascinated by the tension between human connection and the growing digital world. When Shirley Murdoch and Charlie Wilson joined the recording, their voices intertwined with Roger's talkbox to create a sound unlike anything else in R&B at the time. Fans remember how it felt hearing this song late at night, headlights reflecting off rain-soaked streets as the synths wrapped around the moment like an electric hug. The melody felt dreamy, romantic, and strangely prophetic. It became a cult classic, influential far beyond its chart performance, and today it remains one of the most sampled and referenced tracks in hip-hop and modern R&B.
It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Though Zapp continued making music, nothing matched the emotional resonance and futuristic soul of this single. If this track floated us through a world of neon dreams and digital longing, then what comes next is pure nostalgic perfection. A lost gem that still hits straight to the heart. Number 1, Always by Atlantic Starr.
All that a woman should be. And
Released in 1987 on Warner Brothers after a period of lineup changes and renewed focus, this soaring ballad became the moment Atlantic Starr found lightning in a bottle. They were transitioning from their funk-infused beginnings into a more polished, romantic sound. Always emerged from that creative crossroads as a declaration of everlasting devotion. Written by David and Wayne Lewis, it was inspired by a desire to craft something timeless.
Forever will be, and I will love you so.
A love song that didn't just speak to couples, but wrapped itself around families, weddings, and entire generations. In the studio, the group layered gentle synths, gliding melodies, and the angelic blend of Barbara Weathers' vocals until the track shimmered like a promise whispered sincerely. Listeners vividly remember hearing it during milestone moments. Weddings, anniversaries, and quiet living room dances became its natural home. The soft glow of candles or the dim hum of a radio were the perfect backdrop to its warm harmonies. It topped the charts and became Atlantic Starr's signature hit, forever tied to the emotional fabric of the late 80s. Though they had other successes, nothing else captured the universal heartbeat of love quite like this. If this radiant track brought back memories you haven't felt in years, you're going to love what we have coming next. From neon-drenched dance floors to quiet storm confessions, these forgotten R&B wonders show why the 80s still move our hearts today. Thanks for taking this musical ride with us. Subscribe to keep the groove alive and never miss our next throwback countdown. And for your next listen, click on the end screen for our video 15 forgotten one-hit R&B wonders from 1970s you need to hear. Let's keep the rhythm rolling.